up? You were looking at this face and listening to this voice. You were tuned in to the best kept secret in sports talk. I'm your friendly neighborhood smoking. You are officially on the hot seat. And what we doing in the hot seat? Say it with me. We set somebody's ass on fire. And who we setting on fire this week? Y'all saw the goddamn thumbnail, baby. We bringing back a regular to the show. My Dallas Cowboys. My goddamn Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, man, it's playoff time. Playoff time. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Bucks, talk a little bit about the game itself. So, without any further ado, man, paying homage to the goats over my left and my right shoulder. Ding ding, class is in session. So yes, the regular season is over. It is playoff football time. Best time of the year, depending on who your goddamn team is. And for me, it's the Cowboys. So it's disappointment time. We gonna see what they gonna do Monday against the Bucks, man. Dallas has had a weird season, to say the least. And when we last left our Dallas Cowboys at playoff time, they lost in embarrassing fashion, or at least in embarrassing fashion to me, against the San Francisco 49ers. And even looking back at that game, who the hell thought Dallas was gonna win? Seriously. Dallas had no signature wins throughout that entire season, right? They beat up on lesser teams, lesser coach teams, teams with lesser talent. Anytime they faced a team that was as good or better than Dallas was, they lost. They had no signature wins. You can't really count that win against, or at least I wouldn't count the win against the Chargers, because they did, or at least Mike McCarthy did everything he could to almost lose that game. Dallas had no impressive wins last season. We knew coming in that San Francisco was a more physical football team, and we've known Dallas to be a finesse team, so to speak, and we've known them to wet the bed when it comes to these pressure-packed playoff time situations. That's exactly what they did. I believe the final score was 24-17, and the team that had that much talent on offense only scored 17 points at home, no less. That was embarrassing. This season is a bit different. I think this team could beat last season's team. I think this team not necessarily is better talent-wise, but I do think the continuity is better. I think they're better in certain areas. And dare I say, I can't believe I'm about to say this, they are probably better coached than what they were last season. That don't mean I'm still a fan of the coaching staff, because I'm not. But I think in certain pockets, in certain spots, they have been better in relation to. So I'll give you an example. When Dak went out, the first thing I did when Dak went out against the Bucks in the first game of the season, I started looking up draft picks. Yep, thought we were going to have a top 10 pick. I was excited. Looking up guys, see who we could get at the other corner spot. Started looking at interior linemen. And I watched college football, so I had a few names in mind. I was excited. And the motherfuckers came out and started winning games with Cooper Rush. I don't give a shit what you think about the goddamn coaching staff. That was impressive. To maintain, to keep some heat, or at least relatively some heat on the Philadelphia Eagles in the in the division, win games, go on the road, win games. I think it was one game where he completed like 7 to 8 passes or some shit, and Dallas won. You saw that defense played lights out during that stretch. And it's almost as if every time there was a bell rung, they answered it. So in that regard, I tipped my hat to the coaching staff, but overall, they've been inconsistent in certain areas, and I think those areas, along with key injuries in certain spots, it's gonna be too much to overcome, guys. You're playing Tom Brady at home in the playoffs. You haven't beaten Tom Brady since Tom Brady was Tom Brady. It's not looking good. Now, they are beatable. Okay, this isn't the normal Tom Brady we've seen. This isn't the normal Bucks team we've seen over the last season or two. They are beatable. Because the fact of the matter is, Tampa Bay just can't score the goddamn football. A lot is to be said about how Dallas finished the season. Whether you're talking about the game in Washington or even the last 4 or 5 games, right? That's fine. Same thing can be said about the Bucks. They can't score. They cannot score. You look at the last 5 games they've had, and you just look at the output, the total output for offense against the Falcons, which was a loss, 17 points. Against the Panthers, which was a win, 30 points. Against, I think it was the Cardinals, you're looking at 19 points, another win. You're looking at the Bengals, a loss, 23 points. And I think against the Niners, they scored 7 points in the loss. That's an average of 19 points a game over the last 5 games. I think they've only scored over 30 twice this entire season. And one of those games was against the Chiefs and they lost. They cannot score the football. Well, Dallas has stumbled into the postseason. I will not argue that point. And I won't mince words. They have not looked good at all. They look decent in some areas, but they haven't looked good. They haven't looked like a team that you would want going into the postseason, which was a team that needs to be clicking, right? But over the last 5 games, you look at what they've done. They scored over 30 points a few times. I think over the last 5 games, they've gone 3-2. You look at the game, Washington, they only scored 6, right? They played Tennessee on the road, 27 points. They played the Eagles. I think they won that game in overtime, maybe 40 points. Against the Jags, 34 points. They lost that game in overtime, I know for certain. And against the Texans, they scored 27 points. Over that 5-game stretch, that's almost a 27-point average. So, and since Dak has been back, and you look at the inefficiencies they've had on the offensive line, the shuffling they've had, you look at the amount of turnovers Dak has had since he's been back, that's still the number 1 ranked offense in the league. Let that sink in. Dallas can't pass block for shit. What you saw at Washington wasn't an admiration. They have sucked, they've been in the bottom 3, maybe bottom 5 in pass blocking efficiency the entire season. This isn't anything new. And I don't know if Biadasz is playing, but if he isn't, that's a problem because the 5 they rolled out there this past Sunday, it looked terrible. Speaking of injuries, you're looking at cornerback 2. They just threw bodies out there Sunday, as many bodies as they could. And I'm not a fan of Wright, but it seems as if that should be Wright's job. But everybody got smoked. They just picked on him. You think Tom fucking Brady won't pick on the lesser of the 2 cornerbacks? He's not afraid of Trayvon Diggs, but I know for certain in the playoffs at home, he's going to get Chris Godwin should have a game of games. This last season, I remember Troy Aikman made this point about how they were the Niners played Dallas and they left a lot of one-on-one matchups, and he was saying had that been me, Michael Irvin would have had X amount of targets in the first half, meaning he'd have fed him the ball, right? You're looking at Tom Brady. Can you imagine how many targets Chris Godwin is going to have? Because if you've seen this, whether it's Kelvin Joseph, whether it's Wright, whether it's Trayvon Mullen, whomever they put over there, they've been getting their ass cooked. And I mean slow cooked. It's been a long, strenuous process over there watching them try to find somebody to put in place of Anthony Brown. And people have always said, I wish we could upgrade at the center position. I wish we could upgrade at the cornerback 2 position. And now you wishing we had Tyler Biadasz. You're wishing we had Anthony Brown right now because they are light years better or light years ahead of what we're going to roll out there come Monday night. So it kind of makes you want to appreciate what you have because when you don't have them, look at the clusterfuck that has been presented or that is going to be presented Monday evening. And as I alluded to earlier, this Bucs team can be beaten because they can score. Dallas can score, and this isn't the same team from last season, although they aren't as physical as I would like them to be. And that's going to be an issue because I believe Tampa Bay to be a physical football team, and they're really good defensively. Dallas has signature wins on their resume this season. They beat the Eagles. And whether you want to count that as a signature win or not because they didn't have Jalen Hurts, they still beat the best team in the NFC. They went out and they beat the Bengals. They went into a very hostile environment and beat the shit out of the Vikings. Like, that game was over before it started. I think the only person who got off the bus for the Vikings that game was the coaching staff. They destroyed Minnesota. It's better than what you had last season. It gives you more hope that they'll be able to roll out a good product come Monday evening. Another thing you have seen Dallas do, and this is a credit to the players and the coaching staff, is they cleaned up those goddamn penalties. Sunday night against Washington removed, if you look at the last 5 games preceding that, Dallas was only averaging 3 penalties a game. that's like that is markedly better than what you saw prior to that, because in the early part of the season they were once again leading the league in penalties. They were one of the most penalized teams in the league, and they were continually shooting themselves in the foot. They were still able to squeak out wins, right? But you look at the fact that they've cleaned that up, and they are trying to become a more sound football team. So a team that was averaging between 8 and 10 a game to lower that to 3 for a 5 game stretch, that's impressive. Um, I, and you're looking at some of the deficiencies Dallas is going to have. I don't know how they are the number one defense. I'm sorry, the number one offense in the league since Dak has come back. When you look at the fact that he literally has nobody to throw the ball to except for CeeDee Lamb and maybe on occasion Dalton Schultz. I have no idea. I don't know why he likes throwing to Noah Brown so much. I don't know why he likes throwing all those other tight ends so much. It's like Dallas has 9 goddamn tight ends and they all look the same. I it's beyond me. Um, I'm not seeing Pollard in the pass using the pass game as much. I'm not seeing Pollard lately get as many touches as I would like for him to see. Um, you went out and you flirted with the Odell Beckham thing. You went out and you got T.Y. Hilton, and that's a head scratcher for me because I know for certain you had a good receiver last season and you let him go for a pack of Skittles. So now you looked at the game against Washington. Now all of a sudden you're trying to throw downfield. Dallas hasn't thrown downfield all season. Why the hell are you getting away from what worked? You take what the defense gives you and you try to run the ball the best you can. And if Biadasz isn't able to play, you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to take what's there in the flat. You're going to have to take what's there in the crossing game. You're going to have to move the pocket. There's going to have to be some rollouts, some bootlegs. You're going to have to cut the field in half for Dak because if he's throwing so many interceptions, probably just give him 1 or 2 reads. It's almost as if that thumb isn't as healed as we would like for it to be because the football doesn't look coming off his hand like it did last season before he hurt his leg. The enigma that is the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost as if you at one point you were teetering towards this, but now you're here. You're entrenched in what we call which version of the Dallas Cowboys is going to show up. And as a fan, god damn it, that is the worst scenario you can put a fan in. You don't know which version of this team is going to show up because there has been no consistency over the last month and a half. Dallas hasn't looked the same since they beat the shit out of the Colts. Dallas hasn't looked the same since then. They haven't been as impressive as they've been since they played the Vikings. I don't know what the hell is going on with the defense. I would love to tell you these things used to be easy to figure out, but they're not. Dallas in the first half of the season was putting quarterbacks on their ass. They were putting quarterbacks on just that, their fucking back. Now they stand. I think I could go out there and toss for 250 and 2 touchdowns right now. I think I can run for a few yards too because they have so much time to throw the football. Dorrance Armstrong was on fire. D-Law made the Pro Bowl. We were talking about Michael Parsons breaking the sack record the first quarter of the season. And now you have to hope that they get to the quarterback in this regard. Now, don't expect them to put Tom Brady on his back a lot because Tom Brady doesn't believe in taking sacks. But they're going to have to figure out something because it's almost as if pick your poise. You want to just sit back, hope you can get home with 4, and try to help over the top with whoever's going to be covering Chris Godwin. Or you apply as much pressure as you possibly can and make it easier on that secondary and try to fluster him and make him take what's in front of him or get his ass on the ground. I'm not a fan of letting a quarterback sit back there and dissect you. And from what they call the greatest quarterback in NFL history, that's exactly what he's going to fucking do if you don't apply any pressure. Whether you apply pressure by blitzing, whether you apply pressure by getting home, you're going to have to get him on his ass. You're going to have to fluster him. Because right now the ideal situation is him performing like he has performed. And I don't know if Dallas' luck is that good. For example, rolling into Lambeau, Dallas should have beat that goddamn Green Bay team. No questions asked. They should have. They had a double-digit lead for a quarter. They were better. Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers was out there throwing to me. And before you know it, some kid has a career game. Dallas loses, game over. Dallas shouldn't have lost that football game. And these losses are inexplicable. They lose football games for different reasons. You look at how they lost the Jags game. They tried to lose that game. You're getting turnovers late in the game, and all of a sudden, for some reason or another, you can't seal the deal. Their turnover late when Trevor Lawrence fumbled that goddamn football. Game should have been over. What did you have? A coaching lapse. You had it again, I think, a week or two later. Another coaching lapse. You got a turnover late. You almost blew it. You can't do these things in the playoffs. I would like to believe that there's going to be a version of Kellen Moore that I'm going to be proud of. I'm going to be happy that he's going to have a game plan. He's going to roll out there. He's going to execute it. I just have no faith in him. If this is the same Kellen Moore I saw last season against the 49ers, I have zero faith in him. There was nothing exotic. I am a fan of taking what the defense gives you until they stop giving it to you. If you are not going to attack a weakness, take what they give you. And they're going to give you something because they can't take away everything. Take it. If you have to start off the game by giving Dalton Schultz X amount of goddamn targets, do that until they find a way to cover him. And once they do, you let CeeDee Lamb get loose. They're not going to allow you to run the football. So since they don't, just like you did last year in the first game, Dak coming off a bump shoulder during the entire preseason, you had Dak throw the goddamn ball 100 times, and you almost won. Do it again. Don't become stubborn. Don't do an inexplicable shit like try to throw the ball deep to Noah fucking Brown of all goddamn people. Don't do that. Take what they give you. Be smart. How many people really have confidence that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be smart? Because right now, with the deficiencies that I've named, you can run on Dallas. That's number one. Dallas can't get the quarterback on the ground anymore. They have a hole at cornerback too. The offensive line is playing like shit. Dak Prescott is going to have to play exactly how he played when Philly came to town a few weeks ago. After he threw that interception, then when Josh Sweat made that miraculous interception, how he played after that play is how he's going to have to play every fucking week for Dallas to have a chance. Because I'm telling you, if Dallas loses Monday, which is probably likely they will, it's going to be some changes in Dallas. I remember there was a point in the season where I thought, you know what, you probably can bring Zeke back for another season because this tandem with him and Pollard looks pretty damn good. It ain't going to look good after Monday. Now, if they don't win, and it's not all on Pollard and Zeke because they haven't been producing like you probably like for them to, that the offensive line's playing like shit. I think Dak looked pretty goddamn good when he has a clean pocket. People, listen, this shit ain't hard. People make it hard, but this shit ain't hard. You do what's work. When that doesn't work, you do what they give you. When that doesn't work, you find something else that they're giving you because they're not going to take away every goddamn thing. Do what works. You start at one point in the season, you were giving Pollard a good to decent amount of touches. Go back to doing that shit. He's a weapon. Use him as a weapon. Now you've become, I don't want to say lethargic, but you've become very predictable in your game planning. And I don't want to hear shit about they just holding shit, they just saving shit for the playoffs. No, the fuck they not. Those coaches aren't that goddamn smart. Dan Quinn probably is, but as far as McCarthy and Moore, have zero amounts of faith in them. None. Why in the hell are you throwing the ball 50 yards down the goddamn field to Noah Brown? Shit, Noah Brown wouldn't even be on the goddamn field had you kept Amari Cooper. This team is so fucking frustrating. Listen, I'll be here every week as long as Dallas keeps winning games. You'll get a show out of me about the Dallas Cowboys every goddamn week. My fear is this will be the last time I talk about the Cowboys until it's time for the fucking draft. Until then, man, listen, you can reach me at the Hot Seat on Twitter at the Hot Seat 19. You can reach me on Instagram at the Hot Seat 19, man. Please like these videos. Please hit subscribe if you haven't and share this content to people who you may think will enjoy it. I appreciate your time as always, man. Go Cowboys. Y'all be good.